you've got obviously we've got much wider tyres on. They've got too much sidewall deflection. So what's happening is, I don't know if you noticed, I was trying to oversteer the car through Oak Tree, and I was really struggling because the problem I got was that the response at the steering is very dead. Right. So when you turn the wheel, there's this sensation of the car catching up a little bit later. It's not so bad at high speed corners, but on low speed corners you turn the wheel and the car sort of like doesn't do anything at the front, and then all of a sudden it goes, but the tyre catches up. And as a consequence, when you try and kick the front of the car in, it doesn't go as fast as you're expecting it to. If you kick it hard enough to make it go, it then starts to go, and then the tyre catches up and it washes into understeer. So it made it very difficult to push the front of the car in and then get the power. All you do is lift the power momentarily, back of the car swings round, then you get on, drive the car out of the corner. And I just couldn't do that because I couldn't get I couldn't synchronise the throttle and the steering to make it work. She's a bit spooky through the high-speed corners leading up to Oak Tree. Again, you've got a bit too much front tyre, so as a consequence the front of the car is biting quite nicely and the back of the car is just wandering around. Now that's not a problem if you like that, but it isn't as quick as having a little bit less bite at the front end, a little bit more bite at the rear. What tyre pressures are you running?
Right now 24, 26 hot roughly.
Well, the front tyre is
still very new to this, so I'm trying to learn a lot.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's not criticism, it's observations. And
that's what I wanted
to make it better.
Well, they do make a 205 in this that will fit this in this same tire.
I would definitely go to that.
Okay.
That would be a good call. The problem I've got is that instinctively what I'd do with the car as it is at the moment is I'd try pushing up the front tyre pressures a little bit, but you're already 24, 26. Pushing the front up a bit, which will lose a little bit of grip at the front end, or should lose a little bit of grip at the front end, will also stiffen the response at the front, and it may just make the tyre a little easier. But looking at the width, you've got standard rims on.
These are 15 by 8s, 15 by 7s on the front and 16 by 7s on the rears. So there's the option to be able to go with the Toyo RA1s, which is a little bit easier on the pocketbook.
Yeah, so these are, so you've got 7s on the front with the
225, or there is a 205 that you can get.
225 is really too wide for a 7. As a consequence, your sidewalls are hanging out like that.
Okay.
And therefore, if you imagine it as a parallelogram, it's always going to have movement.
Right.
You either need a wider front rim, but then you'd have a wider front rim in the rear, so that's getting a bit spooky.
Yeah.
Or you want a narrower front tyre.
Okay.
You said you got 7s at the rear?
No, 8.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank God for that.
15 by 7, 16 by 8.
So you got 7s at the rear with 245.
Half inch wider on both ends.
You've got problems, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Today I would try a bit more tyre pressure at the front and just see if that helps you. But if it does help you, what it is going to do is it's going to make the car more responsive in the low speed corners, but it might make the car a bit spooky in the high speed corners because you've got so much front end grip. The back end's trying to lead round. We always bias our road cars to a gentle high speed understeer, the logic being that most people in that instance will survive because they'll tend just to think and back off a bit, and the thing stays together. High speed oversteer is pretty dangerous, and to be honest, despite all the talk you get, very few, even real race drivers, will drive high speed oversteer because actually it's slow, because the only way to control the situation is to get off the power. And that's bad news. You don't want to be doing that at any time. Personally, I'd say this car's got a bit too much of an oversteer bias. It's not critically bad, but it's not where I would want it to be, personally. But that's only my opinion, and you're a different driver from me.
You said too much oversteer?
It's a bit oversteery, but that's because the front tyres are a bit peculiar. They're too powerful. You've got too much grip at the front, but the response is too slow. So when you turn the wheel, the tyre doesn't do anything for a moment. It's almost as if the tyre is sort of winding up and then like following the rim. Yeah, because the sidewalls are so sort of flexible and the thing's hanging over the tyre wheels about. if you had a stiffer sidewall but this same power of tyre, when you turn the front wheel, it's going to grip and the car's going to go, which is great, but I'm not sure then the back tyres are going to be able to keep up with it, and I suspect the car will then go into a big oversteer.
Okay.
So I would, as a starting point, I'd rather than go to, well, today, just for the fun of it, I'd try a high front tyre pressure and see if the car feels a little better. But
you think go up to just 1 or 2 psi? Or?
Yeah, 2 psi would be there.
Okay.
If you like it, then that's cool, it's your car. If you feel it, drive it and sort of see what I'm talking about and think, I'm not so sure, I would consider going to the 205 fronts, because I think you'll find that's a better balance, 205, 245. With a tyre as sort of, with this sort of soft sidewall, I don't think you want to be as close as you are on widths.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, otherwise, nice car, engine feels strong. Gear change feels feels a bit, is it shorter? Is it shorter shifters?
Nope. I have not done anything to the shifter other than just put the little reinforcing plate on just to stiffen the box up a bit.
Okay. Maybe it's just really, I think the other thing is it's the aluminium pedal box, isn't it? So you've got the shorter clutch throw.
Yeah, I've adjusted the clutch throw to be real short.
Yeah, which again, it's quite nice in a way, but I don't know where the bite's right at the bottom.
Right.
So you've got to get the clutch right down. I think a couple of times I tend to heel and toe anyway.
Right.
And a couple of times when I went to get a gear, it took a moment for the synchros to catch up.
Yeah.
Suggesting you could probably do with letting the clutch release a little bit more than it is.
Okay.
It felt slightly like it was dragging. I mean, if you change your gear slowly, it's not a problem. But if you change it quickly, the more you get the clutch down, the more the synchros have a chance to take control.
Okay.
As it is, if you're still dragging the clutch very slightly, it'll just make it a little bulkier.
Okay.
Which
That's
might be
a pretty easy adjustment. I've got the wrench for it.
I would give it a little bit more. Brakes felt quite nice. The ABS is working nicely. You've got to check engine lights on, but I guess that's because you've got a decap. Light.
Yep.
Yeah, nice car.
Thank you.
Nice car. I just have to play with those tyres.
I just wish I could get these seats lower, but
yeah, that's the other thing.
When I bought them, they had said, oh yeah, they're direct drop-ins, we'll sell you the brackets, so you just bolt them straight. And when they came, they weren't. And of course, they were air freighted from Germany, so it wasn't like I could return them.
Are these what are they called, MAG seats?
The MOG.
Yes.
Yep.
MOG, whatever. MOG.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're comfortable and they fit me great.
Yeah, they're not uncomfortable. I'm lacking a bit of lumbar somewhere, but
yeah, that's they got a little too much curvature right here.
You can do a little
I'm gonna get just an Alcantara cover, very similar to these made. Just they'll wrap around and Velcro, because technically for ASP I have to have an upholstered seat.
Yes.
You can throw a bed sheet over and it qualifies, and that would have let me put a little bit of padding right back here.
It's good to do as well, because I did a couple of times under braking. I was sliding down in the seat.
Yeah.
It's always good to be stuck to your seat.
Right.
I mean, the belts are great and the belts are there to hold you in, but again, we always try and get the car so that you stick to the seat a little bit. That's why we put those grip pieces on, just to try and hold you in better. It gives you better feel as to what the car's doing. So yeah, I mean, at the very least, I'd put something there, and probably a little bit there and there, just to help stop you sliding around under braking and acceleration. Yeah, good. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, that was an absolute treat.